guys, welcome to Awesome Comics, your one-stop shop for everything comic book entertainment. I'm your host today, Ayana Wade, and we're here with a couple of special people for today's episode about Ghostbusters! Who are you going to call?
Us right now, because we're talking about it.
Well, I'm going to call on you first, Beth. What do you think of the film?
I really liked it.
Yeah?
It's not perfect film, although in my defense, no film is perfect. And if you think a film is perfect, that's not statistically possible. But
Princess Bride, perfect film.
But I really enjoyed it. I think I had more fun the experience of watching it than just judging the movie on its pure merit. I had so much fun watching it. I was laughing, I was smiling. I was identifying with the characters. I had a great time.
Awesome, awesome. We're here also with Heather
Hello.
Roos. Heather, actually not Heather Roos anymore. Recent upgrade in the name.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
I got married last week. Yeah,
Woo!
thanks.
So what did you think of the film? Did you have time between your wedding?
I did. If you follow me on Twitter, you saw this, but like we literally got off the plane from the honeymoon, and I was like, well, I have to go see Ghostbusters right now. So
Love you.
Right, basically.
If you're not doing that, I don't know what you're doing. What's the point?
Right. What's the point? But I liked it.
Okay.
I thought it was okay. I mean, it wasn't fantastic, but it wasn't terrible. It was just kind of like, meh. Okay. You know.
Yeah.
It was good. It was good. It was a little bit better than meh, but it was good. That's
Okay.
all.
More positive than negative, you'd say. But
Yes.
Like
closer
maybe
to
like
the
C, C
neutral
plus
set-
kinda.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, yeah. C+, B- maybe.
Well, let's
C+,
head over
C+.
to
Let's not get too
Doug.
crazy.
What did you?
I'm the token guy.
Oh, wait, we have guys in this episode? No, not allowed.
I'm an honorary sister. Thank you very much.
Okay, all right.
yeah.
All right.
We deputize you for this
Thank you. I'm so flattered. No, honestly, kind of what she said. I'm on the okay board, leaning more towards positive. I'm glad I saw this movie. I liked a lot of the jokes. I felt like the kind of continual pattern that kept going on was something funny would happen, I laughed really hard at, and then something not funny would happen, and that just kept going. And I wish it was all funny. But the funny stuff I thought was really good. I like the characters. I like the creativity. I wasn't down for it being a reboot because I am one of those. I love the original Ghostbusters. I agree there's no perfect movie. That's about as close to a perfect movie as you can get. But when I started watching it, I liked how it was sucking me in. I liked it more and was doing its own thing and not trying to do callbacks to the original, which it does do, but I didn't feel like it was replacing it. I felt more like this is like a parallel universe where it's like these Ghostbusters can also exist, and it's kind of like when you see Christian Bale as Batman, that doesn't erase the Michael Keaton Batman.
Yeah. Right.
You know, I really felt like this is just, it was not a replacement. I thought that was really good. I'm glad they did that. And I liked it when it was being more its own thing. When they did the callbacks, I didn't like it, but I thought it was funny enough, and I would honestly see it again. Maybe I fast forward a few scenes, but I would see it again.
Yeah, I loved the movie. I really did. I've also been waiting for this movie my entire life. I loved the original Ghostbusters. Grew up with it. Have my flight suit over here. I love Ghostbusters, guys. So yes, I was super stoked to go see it. And yes, super stoked about female Ghostbusters. I know that comes as such a shocker. What? But I would agree that they did so many cameos that there was almost like to a fault. Like it was nice to have the little callbacks, nice to be like, oh, that's so cool, you know, But
it would have been nice to save a couple of them for the sequel.
Right.
Which I'm hoping happens, and I'm hoping it does well this weekend. We'll find out, you know,
Well,
or by
yeah.
this time this comes
Yeah,
out.
by this
we'll
time you
know.
already know. but
Yeah,
we don't know
we're
yet.
filming this before we have the results of opening weekend, so we were not quite sure how well it did, but as you can tell, it did awesome. I have nothing
Very
to
cocky.
counter.
I like it.
It did awesome. Go out and see it again, please. See it again. No, I would say that it definitely has a rewatchability, thankfully. Yeah, I thought it was a really funny movie. Let's maybe talk like positives, what we liked about the film, and then we can get into like negatives. Favorite characters? Holtzman, obviously. Kate McKinnon stole the movie for me.
Yeah.
Stole the movie. They kind of really played to her strengths, Paul Feig kind of like does a lot of improv on set though too, which when you have a cast of SNL characters, you know, that really helps when you get to work with actors like that. Anyone have favorite characters or moments?
Definitely her. I felt like that was like the one character, like even in the trailers, like the people that hated the trailers, I didn't like the trailers very much, but everybody pointed to her as like, she looks cool. Like, you know, she looks funny. She looks a little crazy and stuff, and she has the cool gadgets, and she says just the insane stuff. But where it never went too far, like, only thing I think of is like Bebop and Rocksteady and Ninja Turtles 2, where it's like, oh, shut up. You know, every time she said something, I'm like, okay, I am totally down for this. I am totally happy whenever she opens her mouth. So yeah, every single time she was on was great. And I don't know if I'm on, you know, like if I'm on the people that everyone's gonna be like, yeah, or boo. I like the Slimer cameo in this. I felt Slimer did what he was supposed to do. Go on a bender, you know, cause trouble. He steals a car, which is amazing. I mean, I'm just like, Slimer steals a car. That's just the coolest thing I've ever heard. He's pretty much the Neil Patrick Harris from Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle in this. And that's what I love. That's what Slimer should do. Female Slimer was weird, but I still like it.
I did not either. I kind of wish more ghosts had done their thing. Where it's like you only have Slimer and then the random buddies that he grabs when he's driving around, but all the other ones are just like menacing ghosts. Like we didn't see any other ghosts just hanging around, except the Flasher. I'm like, okay, Ghost Flasher.
I did like Ghost Flasher actually. I was like, okay, we got
That sounds like a comic, Ghost Flasher.
Make it happen.
That'll be the next spin-off movie.
Ghost Flasher. Careful when you turn the page. Yeah, I think.
Oh no! Sorry.
Oh Lord. Yeah, I'm not a fan of female Slimer. No.
That was a little weird, but at the same time, it's like, see, that's what you do. We just go find him some ladies and just go, and all his friends be like crazy and stuff. But see, just the one with the wig and stuff like. It just makes me more curious. Like, so okay, not only do these snot balls exist, but they must have died. There's more than one.
Right.
I am so curious the origin of these things.
They almost put an origin story in the Ghostbusters movie, but I think they cut it out.
Well, a lot of where are these monsters coming from? It's just like Zool and Gozer, but it's like, where are they coming from? I never knew
or
that.
the
coming
demon
from that
that
giant
died
pit.
or whatever.
Just the pit. Yeah.
The
pit.
There
Boom.
was the demon ghost, the like dragon ghost or whatever, whatever the hell that thing
Well,
that
that's
was
the same
that
thing with the
died.
first movie. There's just all these monsters that you just assume they died because they're ghosts, you know, but we have no idea where they came from.
We haven't talked about the ghost that had to, or the animal creature thing that had to die to become this ghost. Where's that from? Where are you? Yeah. Some weird whole dimension. Yeah, exactly. I also liked Chris Hemsworth. I thought he was really, really funny.
He needs to be given more comedic roles. He was just on point.
Well, even as Thor, he has this like little moment.
I was gonna say, I saw Thor as a comedy, honestly.
Yeah, but he mostly sort of plays kind of the straight man in the comedy. In this, I did not give him enough credit in his comedic timing. It was really funny.
Yeah.
There's one or two times where I'm like when something's really loud, and he's like, "Oh, that's loud, confusing his eyes for his ears. I'm like, okay, this even babies know this. Like sometimes he's a little too dumb, but I thought there was so
Maybe
much
he
funny
has
with
a
him
hearing
anyway.
problem,
Maybe. Or he's a little nearsighted.
That's so loud.
I loved when he drove up and he's like in the outfit, and he's what I loved was he wasn't cocky, he wasn't a jerk, he was just really dumbly naive and wanted to help. He's like, I can be a Ghostbuster now. I got my motorcycle. You know, he had ingenuity. He had to go get it decorated.
Right.
That took time.
He just wrote Ghostbuster on the helmet and that's it.
Yeah.
I wish he had a little bit more agency though. Like I understand he was just kind of there to like switch up the trope, like he was the dumb male receptionist. Okay, it was pretty funny, but like
he's
he
the eye
didn't
candy.
do much. He didn't have any agency, and then even when he did, we already knew about it because the trailer spoiled it.
Yeah.
We knew he was going to get possessed. I was pretty mad about that.
Spoilers, by the way, that the trailers already gave you.
Right,
And
I
I
was
don't
gonna
think
say,
there's any
trailer
spoilers
already
in
showed.
this.
We already knew that was going to happen. It
But
was
let's be fair, I think we can all probably agree, because it looks like a lot was cut out of this movie.
Yes.
Like there's a lot of scenes that were just chopped, but I think the best cut in my opinion, was the dance number that they clearly shot with Chris Hemsworth, and they just played in the credits. I'm like, thank Jesus.
No!
I
Really?
thought it was better in the
Are you
credits.
kidding
I
me?
agree.
I love my dance sequences. You
Oh,
put
I
those
would've-
dance sequences
It
in.
would
better
have
in the
totally
credits.
killed the tone.
I'm not gonna
It
lie.
was
If I
great as a
saw that
credit.
in the
No,
movie,
absolutely.
yeah, if I saw that
Great as a
actually
credit.
in the film at that moment, I would have been like, "Don't walk out! Don't walk out!" Because that would
Here's
have
the
been
thing,
awful.
though. It was weird, though, to set it up and then not have it.
It was like they set up that like he has this
Yeah.
power to control people's bodies, but like, oh, I'm just not going to use it on the Ghostbusters.
Yeah,
Just
we're here, and then we have a whole scene while everyone's standing like this, and I was like, so where's my dance
nothing-
sequence?
right.
I mean, I
dance
guess they
sequence.
couldn't reshoot
Right.
because that was when the women come in, the Ghostbusters come in, and everyone's like that. So I'm guessing that
a
they
lot of
couldn't work
extras
their
to
way
pay
around it.
over.
Yeah, that would have been an expensive reshoot.
Yeah, it's a little funny just to have them like this. I mean, it's a little cute, but then when you see what they're gonna do in the end credits, it's just like,
Yeah.
oh, thank you, Jesus.
I really, really, really liked that end credit sequence in general, though.
When
I
the-
think
when
that
they
was,
move and stuff?
yes.
That was so
I also
clever.
saw this in 3D, and the credits
So did I.
in 3D is awesome. They have it in like this
Interesting.
letterbox thing, so when you watch it, like things go past the
Yeah,
frame.
I
they're,
like when they
shooting
do
the
that. It's a
beams.
little
Yeah.
distracting sometimes, but for the
Yeah.
most part, like when the ghost vomits, it'll go
Yeah,
beyond.
it'll go
the
beyond,
letter.
or like
I like that
the
too.
blasters and stuff.
Yeah.
It'll shoot past the frame.
Patty's necklace also goes outside. There, I thought they were pushing it.
Yeah.
When she's like slapping her, there's just a little
There's a few
Patty
times,
necklace
yeah.
going outside the box. I'm just like, was that really needed? That was weird.
Speaking of which, I really liked Patty's character.
Yeah.
I
Leslie
feel
Jones,
like,
awesome.
I feel like they did not show her properly in the trailer. There were concerns that she was going to be a
The
stereotype.
streetwise black woman.
But I felt she was more like an historian
Mm-hmm.
than just a streetwise person. She wasn't like, I know the streets. She was actually giving historical lessons about the different buildings. Like she clearly loved the city. And I felt that as the movie went on, she gelled with the other team members of the Ghostbusters. And by the end, she was working the machine for the spoilers post-end sequence. Like she was learning and she gelled with them.
Yeah.
And I love Leslie Jones and I thought she was great.
Yeah, she's hilarious.
Well, I think what people miss too is that like how many watch SNL or not is when they see her in that role, they're thinking like, oh, who's this person doing the stereotypical thing? That's kind of her shtick.
thing,
She's
yeah.
very funny. She's very
Yeah.
good at it, but that's just kind of her thing. It's like bringing Chris Rock in and being like, why is he yelling? You know, it's like that's just kind of what he does.
Yeah.
And I agree with you with her knowing everything because I think because of her job as well, you see she talks to everybody, she gets info and stuff,
Yeah.
and
Right.
so she would know all about the city, and she travels underneath all the time. So I think that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I think the end fight sequence was also strong. All the ladies were strong, but again, my lady, Kate McKinnon, awesome end fight sequence. It was really good, action packed. I know we were talking a little bit before filming about Ghostbusters 1 and how it's not as much action.
Yeah, no, that's something because I love the first one. I like this film. I don't think anything is technically better than the first film, except I think the action sequence is legitimate action because I never put together the Ghostbusters. All the ghosts are flying around. These are just four comedians standing there holding a stick. And the big climax is they point the sticks together. Oh! And that's like the big scene. And with this one, they're flipping around. They have these new gadgets. They can use them as whips. They can slide under them. They can punch the ghosts. I mean, it's like, I love that they added all this stuff. And I really thought that was missing in Ghostbusters 2, which I like this film more than Ghostbusters 2. I'll just say it. I said it. I don't care.
Does anyone like Ghostbusters 2 more than this movie? Raise your hand.
no.
Okay, 100% in agreement, so. At least in this table.
No, I thought this was more positive and rewatchable. Even getting through the bad jokes, it's like, but the good jokes are so worth it.
Yeah.
And I thought that was something where it's like in Ghostbusters 2, you wanted to expand, you wanted to kind of go to the next level, and they don't. They do this huge step backwards. And here I really felt like they were sort of trying new things, and the worst parts is when they did do those callbacks, and they did go back to a lot of the celebrities coming in, and there's Stay Puft and stuff like that. You know, I felt like most of those were really distracting for something that I felt was doing okay on its own.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked the parade of the balloons because you also, that was an interesting, like they're calling back to like these old parades, and you see it like the ghosts are like recreating it, and then they come and attack, and then you got the Stay Puft Marshmallow, and I'm like, why are you here? There's no reason that would not have existed with those.
I'll tell you
other
why
ones.
that's there. I'm pretty convinced of this now. I think that it was put in there so that they can release a picture. I think it was the movie trolling everybody, because everybody was like, did you see Stay Puft? Oh my God, did he look awful? And it's like, it's a balloon.
Yeah.
But everybody thought that was going to be the real Stay Puft coming in. And so I was kind of, you know what, I don't know if it's intentional, but as a trolling move, I very much approve.
Yeah. The weird thing I thought, though, I liked the new gadgets a lot. I thought they were really cool designs.
Yeah.
But we're killing ghosts now?
Yes,
With the chipper, the ghost chipper,
Right.
whatever. I was confused why that was okay all of a sudden
Right,
to
well,
kill the ghosts.
And even the inconsistencies in the tech too. Like
Yeah.
at first they were doing it to rope them in, and they're using it to rope it in. And then all of a sudden it's like cutting ghosts in half now. I'm like, wait.
And when
What-
they were
what
taking
does
them
it do?
and flinging them to the side,
Yeah.
where
Where
did
they
they go?
going?
I was
Right.
just assuming they were gonna come back.
Right, they like
Fling
hit
him
the
into
wall
traps.
like
They
were
got traps
people.
set up.
There's traps everywhere.
Yeah.
But
I
then
was-
they were like cut in half and dissolving though as Melissa McCarthy was walking away, and
They
I'm
were
like, what?
finding peace.
Ooh.
They're sending him to heaven.
Finally.
They were like, God, sort him out.
See you in hell.
If
Yeah.
that exists for you,
Maybe. We don't know where you're going. But
we don't know the dragon's religion.
Go to wherever you go. I don't know. Move on. Go away from here.
I do want
Yeah.
to take a quick second and talk about Kristen Wiig and Melissa McCartney.
Yeah.
Because I actually really liked both their characters, and I especially liked all the 4 characters and how they gelled together.
Yeah, the relationships were really strong.
I thought Melissa McCartney was so optimistic and just so enthusiastic and loving what she did, and like no one could make her question what she was doing. And I thought that was real. I liked seeing her play a straighter character. Kristen Wiig, I felt she could have amped it up just a little bit at times, but I liked her. But out of the 4 of them, she was my least favorite.
She didn't really get to like do her normal weird like yippee hooray, it's the Target lady, you know, like because we already had a character like that.
I will say
So-
one of the funniest moments though is after they come out of the mansion and she's covered in slime. She's like, "Oh my God, I believe there's ghosts!" And then you see it's a video and she's just like, with the
Yeah, the
Who is that?
I believe in ghosts. I believe in ghosts. That book, by the way, available on Amazon.
Yeah.
You can actually, yeah. You
Oh,
can
is it
actually buy
really?
that book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
They
that's
wrote the
great.
book.
See
They
that?
wrote
Why
it.
couldn't the rest of the movie have marketing like that?
Isn't that
That's
great?
ingenious.
Oh, let's talk about the marketing for a second, or lack thereof. Where's all the shit I can buy?
Ecto Cooler is still available. Thank you very much.
That's awesome.
Maybe it's
Yay.
not the more I think. But everybody I talked to is like, it's gone. It's
Yeah.
sold
Yeah, I
out.
can't
So
find
I already
it
got
anymore.
like 2 packs.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm set.
I haven't found any like shirts at Target or.
There's no like posters. There's the pop vinyls, but those are still kind of hard to find. And they released those like super early before people like really cared who these characters were. You know.
I think Sony's scared of it, honestly. Even the last advertisement they had, I mean, just how badly they've been marketing this. It's like they were quoting like New York Times or something like that, and they're like, says that this movie dazzles and is amazing. And yes, it has girls. Get over it! And I'm like, you have no idea how to deal with trolls.
Right.
This is not how you do it. This is like, come after us, come after us. That's not how
Come
you
at
do
me,
it.
bros. Wait, no, don't.
Yeah.
Well, and I felt like the whole movie almost suffered from that. Like you could tell it was almost like they were afraid to leave certain things in, or they were like, someone came in from Sony and was like, you know what this needs? More Ghostbusters cameos. Like, and it was all a little forced or like a little timid. Things were cut. Hey guys, it's Heather. As I'm sure you've noticed, I've been absent a little bit for the past month or so, and that's because I got married. Yay! We did a lot of crafting, but one of the things that I did is I made my whole bouquet here out of sheet music, comic books, and old manga. So I'm going to show you quickly how to make one of these flowers. It takes about 10-15 minutes when you get really good at it, 10 minutes, so it's nice. You have to take a comic book. I know it's going to hurt you on the inside, but you got to cut it. You got to cut it up. You can do 6x6 squares, was what we used for the bigger flowers, 5x5 or 4x4 for some of the smaller ones. So just cut them into squares like this, and then you got to fold the square 3 times. So if this was my square, I could go 1, 2, and then 3, so you get a little triangle like this. Keep the folded point at the bottom. Then you have to cut it into a petal form. Since we had to make a ton of them, we actually had a little mold here to use. You're gonna have to cut off a little bit of the tip there, no problem, because it is gonna have to nestle inside itself, and then just kind of get yourself a petal shape. It helps to give yourself a little bit of leeway because you're gonna fold them over because petals are not straight in nature, until eventually it'll look something like that, or I have another one right here. It'll look like that. To make one flower, you need 3 of these. So at the end, when you open it up, it'll look like this. Basic flower template there. You need 3 of them. So on one of them, you cut out 1 petal. So now I've got 1 petal cut out of that one there. On another one, which I've already done, you'll cut out 2 petals. And then guess what? On the third one, you'll cut out 3 petals. So it's not that hard, okay? With the bigger ones, you have to take the hot glue and just make it into a circle, basically. So I'm gonna start with my biggest one here. You'll want the petals that you want facing outward because color does matter when you're putting it together. You'll want the ones that you want to show facing inward, like that. So I want the purples to show because I like the purples in this. I think it'll go well with some of the blues that I have in this one. Then all you're left with are these little ones, the 3, the 2, and the 1. With the 3, it's gonna fit together almost like a puzzle. So if I put it like that, and I'm gonna glue it like that. So it's still similar to what you've been doing with the bigger ones, but not quite. So it almost looks like the folded up petal when you have it like that. But on the inside, again, on the inside is what you want for the ones that you want to, the color you want to show. So on my inside petal, I'm gonna have Spider-Man. That's what's gonna show up. With the 1 petal, you're gonna kind of roll it up tight because this is your center. This is your center piece. So if I roll it up tight, it's kind of like rolling a cigarette. Not that I know anything about that, guys. Nothing. It's easier to put the glue just on the edge. It's also easier to use a low temp if you have that option, a low temp hot glue gun. A lot of my friends who helped me were using a high temp and we had some burns, but they healed before the wedding and that's all that mattered. I put mine on stems because I did eventually put it inside of a floral foam to make the actual bouquet itself. If I hold it, to make the bouquet itself, it's on floral foam. So I put it on stems. To do that was really easy. Just put a little hot glue at the tip here. And I can stick that there, let it hold, and it'll set on the stem then. I just took regular 18 gauge pre-wrapped floral stem because it was easier than trying to wrap it itself. With this one, the 2-1, you're also going to do the same thing of rolling it up, but you have to make it a little bit bigger because it's going to go on top of the smaller one. The 1-1's going to go inside of it. So again, put it on the edge. Don't kill your fingers. Low temp is better. Mine's a nice one from Home Depot. Great place to buy glue guns. Never knew that. Now you know. So then you put this bigger folded one inside the smaller folded one. Glue it in place. Again, make sure it's glued here so that it doesn't just fall off. A couple of my friends were doing these and helping me and they didn't quite make sure this stuck to the bottom and then they just fell right off the stem. So make sure it's actually glued to itself. With these, I almost forgot this part. Flowers in nature are not straight up and down like this. So you can take a little pencil or I was also using chopsticks to roll the edges so that they get that nice bend to them. So it's not just a straight up and down flower. And you'd be surprised how well the comic books actually hold this curl. You wouldn't think they would, but they do hold it pretty well. And then basically all you're gonna do once they're all rolled and ready is just construct it. Put it inside itself 1 layer at a time until it looks like a flower. There you go. And like I said, you have to make sure that you actually get the glue on there. It actually touches base, but you also don't want to squish it too much or you lose some of the flower element of it. Next layer, so on and so forth, and before you know it, you're going to have enough flowers to make a bouquet like this. So thanks everyone for checking out how these are made. I'm gonna finish this flower in just a little bit. But back to you guys at the studio.
I mean, we had just about everyone in the series in there.
Yeah,
like
right.
they plugged
it
them all
didn't need
in,
to happen,
and
though.
it didn't. There's literally a scene where someone says, "I ain't afraid of no ghosts."
Oh, that was the worst. That was. And there's some bad cameos in the movie. That was the one where I was like,
Yeah, that
because
kinda
it
hurt
started
my
off
heart
funny.
a little bit.
Annie Potts was my favorite, I think. Sigourney Weaver was
Sigourney
good too.
Weaver was my
Yeah,
favorite.
yeah.
I
there
like
was
Harold
some-
Ramis. I'm not gonna lie. I thought that was
that
pretty.
was the first
I
one.
thought it was
with
very
Bust,
clever.
right?
It
Well, they
was,
put that in the
yes.
credits, like for Harold Ramis.
know,
They
it
put
was
a little Ryan Kemp
Ryan
credit
Kemp,
in
yes.
the credits. Good job, guys. I love that. That was really sweet.
No, I thought that was really cool too. Yeah.
So there were, I mean, I hate to be that person that's like, there were too many cameos, but I liked the cameos. You know, like that doesn't seem fair. But there were some that I thought were legitimately funny and really, like, there were collective, like, oh, in the audience when you go see it. Everyone's
Yeah.
like, oh, yay, it's whoever it is. But then some of them were a little cheapened by the way they kind of presented them.
My least favorite was actually Bill Murray's.
Oh my
And,
gosh.
and I got
He was in too long, and they didn't give him enough to do. He got one
Yes.
thing to do, and he just kept doing it until he got thrown out a window. What happened? Did he die?
I got excited.
Why didn't we get a Bill Murray ghost?
Yeah, I got excited when he showed up. I was actually like, oh, okay, because he's going to be the skeptic. And if there's anyone that's a great skeptic and cynic and says he's going to be great, and it's like, so is this real? No. And I'm waiting for him to go into make up stuff, like improvise whatever, all the thing where you can see the strings there, and this is obviously very bad CG. And I like have him make fun of it, but it's just like, no, cut. And then he shows up again. Okay, well, now they're going to make up for that. He's just playing it, I guess, straight. I don't even know what he's doing, and then he's just gone. I was with you. I was waiting for Ghost Murray to pop up. Never did. And yeah, to me, that's the most wasted one.
feel
Wouldn't
like
it have been great
Zombieland
instead
had
of the
better Bill
Mrs. Slimer, they would have had Bill Murray's ghost in
Yeah,
there with Slimer?
exactly.
Wouldn't that have been so much better?
Him on top or something like
We've
that?
already got 4 female Ghostbusters. We don't need a female Slimer.
We
And
don't.
I know you like Slimer,
It
but
was-
as far as negatives, my least favorite.
Female
hated the
Slimer,
Slimer. He
was
looked
a little hard for me. I'm
terrible.
not gonna lie.
I
That
did
was a
not
little
like female Slimer. It felt like, yeah, we got a girl Slimer now. Hey, you guys,
got,
you
like,
guys like
collagen
girls.
and-
You're seeing this because there's girls in it, right? Girl
Overdone
Slimer.
blush.
She did have a Mrs. Pac-Man vibe.
That's
Yeah.
what I was
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
It felt like Mrs. Pac-Man, and we were fine with Slimer. It was a Slimer.
I think because I grew up with the cartoon and to a point where Slimer actually took over the cartoon, where it's like Slimer and the real Ghostbusters,
Right.
and then you saw him in Ghostbusters 2, just sort of going, "Hi, I'm driving a bus." I felt like, because somebody said, I forget, it was Ivan Reitman or somebody said he was supposed to be the ghost of John Belushi.
Yeah.
And I felt that's what John Belushi would do, man. He'd just go in, steal a car, get some friends, and just eat and have fun. And I was
Yeah.
like, that's what I want to see Slimer do. But I agree that A, he looked weird, and well, I mean, it's Slimer.
Right.
And B, yeah, female Slimer, I'm like, I just want to know what their story is. Where do they come from?
Well, as far as like the ghosts were concerned, I felt some of them were really well done, and then some of them, like the more ghosts they had, I felt like the worse it got.
Got less and less.
Like the
yeah.
first ghost they had, the woman,
I
like
loved her.
that's what Haunted Mansion
Gorgeous.
ghost should have looked like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like she was beautiful. I loved the colors that they used for the ghosts. I felt it was really unique and it set it apart from the original. And I thought she was just creepy as hell.
Yeah, the whole opening sequence was really
very well
legitimately
done.
creepy. It
Yeah.
was really
Drew
cool.
you in.
Yeah.
And he used
like,
a lot of
okay, I'm
practical
ready.
effects when he was in the basement. By the way, why go in the basement?
Oh, that was me in the
love
theater.
that
Don't go in the
everybody says
basement.
that.
Get out of the basement.
Well, doesn't he even say, like, when he looks up, he's like, oh, why'd I go in the basement?
Yeah, great opening. I do want to talk about the villain in this movie. Okay, good. I think we're all in agreement. It's no Dr. Janos.
Yeah, no, Vigo.
Yeah,
Or Gozer.
It like
or
had that
anyone.
kind of vibe where it was like this crazy dude that really wants to bring about the destruction of the city because he gets no respect. And nobody
He got
pays me no
bullied.
respect.
Well, I thought they were going to build him up to be something different.
Yeah,
because
that's
when
what
he
I
was
thought.
talking to himself in the
Right.
mirror, I'm like, oh, he's possessed. There's a bigger bad.
That's what I thought.
And then I thought when he like killed himself by holding on to the machine,
The real-
then like
yeah.
exactly the real ghost was going to burst forth. He was going to this awesome reveal.
Nope, just
like
died.
no, he just
No, it just died.
And I found when the Ghostbusters are with him in that room, I felt there was potential for, because I would have loved to see his insecurities come out in like when they're talking to him and they're like, we know how you feel, we've been outcast too, you don't have to be like this. I would have loved for him to have a moment of contemplation, to think about his actions. That could have given him some depth, or for him to be a bigger bad.
Yeah.
But there was more they could have done with him in a couple different directions, and they didn't do any of it.
I felt you either had to make this guy really awesome evil, like Gozer or Vigo, that is awesome evil, or you gotta make him really pathetic and goofy, like Janos or something like that. That would have been funny. If like all this chaos and everything is just caused by this one a-hole who was bullied. That'd actually be very funny. But they're trying to do like this in between, and it just doesn't work for either. And to a point where we're like, wait, how does he know this stuff? Why did he come across these things? And like, even his look is kind of just a normal guy, but not like a funny tee-hee-ha-ha guy.
Right.
He's just kind of boring and
Just
dull.
a weird bellhoppy.
And the
dude.
fact they said he got all the knowledge from reading their book. Like,
Yeah.
he knew stuff they barely even knew.
Right.
Like
Right.
they talked about the meridians thing. They never talked about that in their book
Right.
because she thought it wasn't real. So
If he
was he doing
possessed,
extra
that would
homework?
have made
Yeah.
sense if there was something else. But I did like the possession then of Hemsworth, Kevin being able to go bad, because we got like two sides to see of him, from the goofy to like
Yeah.
You just want to see all sides of him.
Hey, no regrets here.
we get that now. Eye candy.
The funny thing with like Gozer and Vigo is that they weren't given like a ton of screen time. Vigo
Yeah.
got more, but there was kind of this build up, and there was like they knew just
ominous
what to show.
presence, yeah.
They knew what to say, they knew what to show, and it built up to something, especially with Gozer.
There is no Dana, only Soul.
Yeah, they just kept building. It's like Sauron from Lord of the Rings. Like we
Yeah,
don't know
yeah,
a ton
yeah.
about him,
Right.
but man, they build it up and they give you just the right little bits of information that's all you need, and you like the mystery of it. Where this one, I didn't care where this guy came from. He just wasn't interesting.
He wasn't a strong villain.
No.
Yeah.
And the thing that, like, every time you see him, somebody in the background mentions, oh, that guy, he's so pathetic. Like, they repeated that so many times, and I'm like, okay, give us a show, don't tell. All you're doing is saying how sad and pathetic he is, and but he's not that sad and pathetic. He's just talking in a mirror. It's like, a lot of people do that. You gotta put
I talk about the end of the world while looking in a mirror all the time. Okay,
And how did he build that whole thing in the basement of this hotel and no one knew about it?
Yeah, because he's the janitor.
yeah. So of course he has the money to get all that
He's
stuff.
like a bellhoppy janitor. Let's go back again to Kevin. So, is he a secretary or a graphic designer or web developer? That's one of the faults of like Paul Feig's directing of like the improv is awesome and it's really funny and you get some really natural, quippy back and forth dialogue. But then you get like weird plot holy things where you're like, wait, so this was a cold interview or he came in with the graphics already designed? That part was a little confusing.
It wasn't a
If
cold
that's your
interview.
biggest problem,
No, it's
then
not my
I am
biggest
so
problem.
glad.
Yes, they said he was the only one who applied, and that they'd talked to him on the
Right.
phone beforehand, and that he said he could design him a logo. So
Right. Although I
But it
gotta say
wasn't too
the
clear.
booby Ghostbuster design I really liked. They should have just gone for that.
Why isn't that on the
Really, yeah, right? Like just
Like
a
the big
ghost with
boob one?
boobs, like right here. That looked really good. Really good. I love it. It really gets to the point. You get that they're girl Ghostbusters. I know no one has realized that yet, but if you didn't know, the Ghostbusters in this.
I don't see
they're-
sex. I do not see gender. So to me, they're just Ghostbusters.
They're just all Slimers.
Yeah, they're all Slimers. Except
with
now
the
they gave me a
wig,
female Slimer, so
right?
there's that. Actually, that female Slimer kind of looked like that ghost that you drew. The more I think about it, maybe it was foreseeing the
blush.
future.
Oh my God! When he possessed Chris Hemsworth, he started manufacturing ghosts because he had superpowers, and he created the female Slimer and brought her to life.
Yes, this is much better
canon.
villain backstory than
It's
what
This
they
is
gave
like
us.
the worst fan fiction ever.
Worst fan fiction ever. Well, let's do final thoughts. Heather, what were your final thoughts about the film? Anything else you wanted to talk about?
Well, like I said, I didn't think it was great, but I didn't think it was awful. I really felt that there were some jokes that landed and were hilarious, but the ones that didn't land were almost awkward.
They're tough.
Like it was like
yeah.
cricket silence, like bad. I feel like it had a lot of potential to go somewhere. I feel like a lot of things were built up and then just didn't go anywhere, like we said, with the villain, or even like with her ghost girl story. I thought more was gonna come of that. Like there were so many things that could have happened that they were just like, build it up and we're gonna ignore it.
I wonder if we're gonna get like a cool alternative edit of this where it's like almost a completely different film where we get some of the shit they cut out.
I'd be curious to see that.
Yeah, because I feel like like I said earlier, there are so many hands that must have been in it from like Sony. That you could feel that. You could feel that bits and parts were cut out and taken out and rearranged and mandated to be in here. Like, now you have to add Dan Aykroyd. Like, I don't, it just felt like it was cut up and pieced and...
Well, and I think to me that sort of shows that it's like it is kind of doing its job a little bit, because when you said that an alternate version, I'm like, I would watch that. And we now have one with Batman versus Superman where I'm like, and I didn't hate that film. I didn't think it was very good, but I have no interest in seeing that. I'm just like, nah, I just know nothing, like, I just wasn't that interested. Where with this one, even though, like you said, it's a ton of problems, it's like, I like to see what else they were going to do, because it's just interesting enough to me.
Right, where it could have gone if Sony did not have its hands all up in it.
Yeah.
Or maybe there's some good cuts. Again, the dance sequence. I think that was a good
That was
job.
smart.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I'm gonna kind of just do a little anecdote. So when, I don't know, like, I'm assuming you maybe had a similar experience, but when during like the final fight sequence and you have Kate McKinnon and she's like licking the guns and she's going and she's kicking ass, you see all the Ghostbusters doing it. I got this really just happy, excited feeling, because I will say, as a woman, we don't have a lot of all-female action ensembles. In fact, the only ones I can really think of are like Gem and the Holograms or Josie and the Pussycats, like where they're a band
Powerpuff
as well.
Girls, thank you very much.
Animated,
What about
live
Sailor
action.
Moon?
And
Live action.
especially in the past 30 years. And guys have a lot of those, and we haven't grown up with the same thing. Like when I was growing up, I was told the Ghostbusters toys were for girls. I was supposed to play the secretary when we would play in elementary school. And now, like, a generation of girls are going to be growing up thinking and knowing they can be a Ghostbuster. And so for me, that just filled me with so much joy. And that does, that is my own bias as a woman. That's my own personal feeling and experience. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but I think it's just way overdue for women to be able to have that same experience that men have had for as long as I've been alive.
Well, and I think with, I'm hearing all these, I'm seeing pictures and these experiences of, like, kids running around, both boys and girls dressed as Ghostbusters, but dancing to the song, run up and down the aisles, trying to catch ghosts and stuff like that. And, whether or not, like, even if it turns out I hated this movie, I couldn't stand it, or it wasn't funny or something, I mean, how am I going to argue with that? I mean, I can't be like, no, that's bad. Come on, go join the other girl teams. There's like, what, 5? Something like that, where, or if you're in a team, there's always like 1 or 2 girls or women in there and stuff like that. I mean, this is all, where if you count how many ones that are like all guys, there's a lot, or a majority of them are guys. So yeah, I kind of agree. Even if this movie, like, turned out to be really bad, it's like, how can you look at these pictures of these girls being dressed up and saying, let's catch ghosts, and as a team, and you can get a lot of them and stuff, and be like, no, bad movie. I mean, I think that's great too, honestly.
I'll be honest, guy characters has never stopped me from dressing up as them. As many of you already know, I grew up playing Ghostbusters and dressing as Ghostbusters, so that never stopped me, and I'm still so excited to have that end fight sequence. Also, shout out to overly expressive faces everywhere. Thank you, Kate McKinnon. I was like, yeah, exactly. Like, some of us have faces that do weird shit. Awesome. And they're action-packed and awesome. So, yeah, it was really, really cool to have my female Ghostbusters. I've been waiting forever.
I feel like right now, I mean, even though there was like backlash when people heard the news, and honestly, it didn't help that they've been talking about Ghostbusters 3 for years.
Forever.
And then
We got
it's
the game.
like, yeah, we got the game, and it was just like, no, entirely new cast. Oh, by the way, they're all women. It's like, everything about the build-up and the marketing of this movie, I'm just like, man, that was done wrong, that was done wrong. But I feel like, yeah, this is kind of like, at least when I was growing up, kind of like what you said, there was absolutely no girls can play with boy toys and, boys can play with girl toys and stuff. I mean, not only do we have girls doing that anyway, but we also have boys are watching My Little Pony.
Yeah.
That was unheard of
Yeah.
when I was growing up. And I think that's phenomenal. So I think it's kind of cool that we're and if for any other reason, just the possibilities. Like, let's see what happens. Let's try sort of the various type of things we can do with this. And I like possibilities. I like opportunities. I like seeing where this kind of stuff can go. And I like that we're now taking advantage of that more and more and more. You know, that there can be backlash, you know, about it and stuff like that from either direction. But I like that these opportunities are there, you know, and it's just there, and it wasn't while I was growing up, and I think that's so cool that like now it's allowed and it's becoming popular, and people are throwing money at it because they're saying, hey, this is good enough, it can make money, it's that popular.
So give us more merchandise so we can throw more money at you.
Except no more Fall Out Boy Ghostbusters songs, please. Can we all agree that song was not good?
They had like, what, 5 different versions of the song?
And
then
all of
really?
them were better than the Fall Out Boy one.
You know what? I like that song okay, except when they do Ghostbusters. Except when they're like, Ghostbusters!
What did I say to you?
Yeah, it sounds
sounded
like they're in a bathroom.
Ghostbusters! Everyone's like, okay, everyone crowd in the bathroom and yell Ghostbusters.
But the rest of it, I was fine with. I'm like, this is a cool rockin' song. But it's like, Ghostbusters! I'm like, son of a bitch. Just let it be its own thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's catchy, but... So I brought a pig of the week this week on that note.
A pig of the week? Where's he under the table?
Pig of the week. What? Different pick. There's IDW Ghostbusters comics, and a lot of them are on the Comixology app, actually on the Unlimited. If you have the subscription to Comixology, you can read a lot of the Ghostbusters titles on there. Specifically, I'm going to gear you towards the Happy Horror Days series. It's about 4 issues, I think. There's a Halloween, there's a Dia de los Muertos, there's a Christmas and New Year's Eve, and they all sort of talk about these boogeymen that are trying to get children and possess them or get them to like do other things to bring out ghosts. And it's a really, really cool little series in there. So definitely check that out. And if you liked the female Ghostbusters, guess what? Extreme Ghostbusters, including the comics, has a couple of female Ghostbusters. I don't know if some of you didn't know this. If you were shocked by the idea of a female Ghostbuster, you might be a little behind on your Ghostbusters with Griffin and Agent Ortiz. That's already going on, just so you know. So yeah, definitely check that out if you want a comic book to read. And let us know what you thought of the film for sure. Make sure to follow us all on social media. Heather, where can we find you at?
You can find me on Twitter at Heather Roos or Instagram at HRoos.
We're going to see a lot of nice wedding pics on there soon,
Oh,
right?
yeah, a lot of my Instagram has turned into wedding stuff anyway.
You said as a
Whatever.
Ghostbuster when you got married.
No, I'm sorry.
Because that would be creepy.
How
awesome.
wedding crazy? Heather, how wedding crazy is your Pinterest right now? Because mine is like way overloaded right now.
Yeah, it's out of control.
I'm the only person on Pinterest, I think, that doesn't have a wedding board. Men included, I'm pretty sure.
I am very clearly the only person not on Pinterest.
There you go. Well, you're one step ahead of me. Beth, where can we find you?
Y'all can find me on Twitter at Beth Elderkin. You can also find Shark Jumping on YouTube. It's youtube.com/sharkjumpingshow. We're in the middle of our summer series called Once a Pilot, where we talk about failed TV pilots. And when we come back with our regular series in October, it might be election related, because it turns out a certain presidential candidate has been on television.
What? Which one?
Guess you have to watch to find out.
Have they been talking a lot on television? That's nuts.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure his life is on television.
Oh, it's a he, you say.
I think that narrows
taking
it
it
down quite a bit. Guys, it's Mike Pence.
Doug, who are you? Where can we find you?
I'm here. Just gonna get the editor again. Oh, where is it? Is it below? Up high? Gotta find. He's right there, and he's very angry.
You guys know where to find me. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, if you don't feel like looking at wedding stuff, because I ain't got it. Look elsewhere to my other ladies.
You got a lot of Ghostbuster stuff on there.
Oh my God, the cosplay shit on my Pinterest is insane. Like, that's too much. And probably too much Ghostbusters too. Yeah, definitely. So check it out. Thanks for joining us today. Let us know what you thought of the movie yourself. If you're going to see it, if you're not going to go see it, why don't you want to go see it? Why not? Go see it. Tell us what you think. And definitely go make sure to check out our Facebook page at facebook.com/awesomecomicshow. Give us a like. Thanks for liking this video. Thanks for subscribing. And thanks for watching, guys, and sharing it with your friends. For all of us here at Awesome Comics, I'm Ayana Wade, and we'll see you on the next page.